Hi DIY doers, I'm Belle and welcome to my workshop. So in today's video we're going to create a vinyl cup wrap for Easter. So what you will need is you're going to need some vinyl. I have this cup blank. It's from Kmart and I've removed the silicone wrap that is actually around the cup because we don't need that. Then I've got some rubbing alcohol with a microfiber cloth. We've got a brayer, some transfer tape. I have this little silicone cup holder. Now you don't need this, but it does help a lot. I have a cutter to cut my vinyl. And you're also going to need your standard grip mats and your cutting machine. Now you could do this project on the Crafter or the iCraft. It's up to you. Okay, so let's pop into LOKLiK Idea Studio and make our design. Okay, before we pop into Idea Studio, let's measure our blank. So to get a good measurement for your cup wrap, get a tape measure. And now that is 23.5 centimeters around and 16 centimeters high. Now, if you have a cup that you're going to be drinking directly out of, you should probably put the vinyl just a little bit down so your lips don't touch the vinyl, as most vinyl is not food safe. Okay, so now we have our measurements. Now let's jump into LOKLiK Idea Studio. Okay, so we are in LOKLiK Idea Studio. So we're just going to come over to our upload button. And we are going to upload the Easter Bunny wrap can glass. I will have this linked in the description below as to where you can find this. I measured my cup just before, so we have those measurements. So we're going to resize this. Now I'm going to take the padlock off. And we're going to do 23.5 centimeters it was, so 235 millimeters, and it is 160 millimeters high. Okay, so that is our wrap there. Now if you wanted to, you could go into the group and you can select the different layers of all the different colors and say if you didn't have one of these colors in vinyl, you could then just click on the layer that you don't have and then you can change it to a color that you do have. If you need to. I'm just going to press Ctrl Z to undo that because I have all these colors. Okay, and that is the design process done. So now we can cut out our cup wrap.
Okay, so now we have our design ready to go. We can go over to LOKLiK Idea Studio. We have our group selected and we can press Make. Now we can connect our device. I'm going to connect it via Bluetooth. Okay, so our machine is connected. We can go and select Standard Cut. Now we have all our groups here. Now we're just going to go through one by one and add them to our task. I'm just going to bring this up all the way to the top. Now I can cut all my vinyl to 18 centimeters and everything will fit. So we have our pink group selected. We can come down to material parameters and select our type. I'm using HTVRONT adhesive vinyl. And it's got the plastic carrier sheet. And we don't need to mirror, and we can add that to our task. So that's all ready to go. Now we can unselect that and we can actually select all of these groups. We'll go HTVRONT and the glossy permanent vinyl and add to task. Now all our tasks are there. So that was the first one that we added, and these are the rest. Okay, so with our tasks list done, we can start cutting out our vinyl and placing it on our mat. Okay, so I'm going to do the first one with you. I'm just going to cut out our vinyl here. Now we want a width of at least 18 centimeters. And then we can cut. So that pink first layer that we did is done. So that's the flowers. And now we can just continue on doing the same with all the other colors. Okay, all our cutting is done. Now let's do the first layer together. So we'll grab our pink layer, grab our cutting mat, Put our vinyl right up at the corner and flatten it down. Make sure it's nice and stuck using our roller. Okay, now this mat is ready to go. So we can come over to our machine, load our mat, make sure it's hard up in the corner and make sure there's pressure, and press the load button. Now we can select our task, which is the flowers, and we can press start. Okay, when that's finished cutting, we can unload our mat, come over to our craft bench, flip our mat over and peel away our vinyl. Now we just do exactly the same step for every single other layer that we have on our task list. So the next task we have is the blue layer. Now I ran out of blue actually, so I'm actually using this aquarry type. I thought it was pretty close to bluish. I went through my scraps to see what I could find, and I couldn't find any, so we're using this colour. Okay, same again, load your mat. And press start. So I'm going to start with the first layer that we cut, so all the flowers. And let's start weeding. Okay, so after we have it all weeded, what we're going to do is line up this corner with the left corner of each layer. So just folding down some of the backing of the transfer tape and lining up that corner. Getting our squeegee. And then just rolling it on. Now you might see I've made my transfer tape just that little bit bigger because then it can stick to my glass mat and help me squeegee the vinyl on. And we're just going to burnish front and back. Just like that. And we'll get our next layer. So the next layer I'm going to put on is our pink layer. Okay. Once you got it lined up, burnish it down. And then peel away. Make sure you're going slow, just in case anything doesn't stick to the transfer tape straight away. Okay, and now our next layer is going to be our green. I'm just lining up our Easter bunnies at the bottom there. That looks good. Now when doing these types of designs, I normally put the design that has the most on the vinyl first. Because if you do have any alignment issues, by the end of it, it's easier to move a couple pieces rather than a huge big piece. Now I might do the two little yellow Easter bunnies. The back got a little bit stuck. So the vinyl isn't actually meant to stick onto the backing. The backing's made so the vinyl comes off. I might just put that there, that there. Now this purple is the blue. I forgot that the blue vinyl I was using was a different brand of vinyl, so I had to actually cut it out again because it didn't work, and I didn't have any of that blue left, so I changed it to light purple. I like purple anyway. Sorry if my head was in the way. Sometimes you just need to look what you're doing. Now, if you'll notice, I'm just burnishing the new parts of the design because we don't want the other parts to stick to the vinyl backing. Even though the vinyl backing is made so the vinyl doesn't stick, it still can stick a little bit. All right, our last layer. So we have our 2 eggs left. And I think that looks pretty good. So multi-layered vinyl projects aren't so scary when you do it this way, and I completely put that on my glass mat. Deary me. Ooh. Okay, there we have our design. Now, hopefully we've got a really big backing one. Put that on there. And I'm going to cut really close to our design on either side. Okay, and we'll bring our blank over. Now I'm just going to take the lid off, take the straw and everything out. And I'm just going to get our rubbing alcohol. Give it a couple sprays. Now, most of the time, if your vinyl has a hard time sticking to the surface you're trying to put it on, it's because you have oily fingerprints on there, or there's dust or something on your surface that is preventing the vinyl sticking. Okay, so that is all clean now. Okay, so I'm going to put it this way, and I'm actually going to pick it back up and put it on that one. Okay, and then what we'd want to do is make sure our design is going to fit. Okay, that looks good. All right, so remembering which side is the top, I'm just going to peel the backing away. And we're going to fold it down. And lining up the top and the bottom. That looks pretty straight to me. Now we can start rotating this while peeling the backing away from our design. Now go as slow as you need to. And if you see any of your design lifting up onto the backing, just wiggle it back onto the transfer tape. And done. Now, the triangle bits on these eggs, I found it easier to just put all that egg onto the transfer tape and then just roll it onto the glass. Now we're going to get our microfiber cloth that we used before, and we're just going to rub all our vinyl on. Now you can use your scraper, but because it's a curved surface, I find it's easier to use a microfiber cloth. I'm just pushing all that vinyl onto the glass. And then we can start peeling our transfer tape away. Now I did get that bunny tail on the transfer tape. There we go. That's better. Okay, and then slowly peeling the transfer tape away. And I find it's easier if you go really close to the glass. So instead of pulling up from up here, you go and bend with the glass. Now if you find a design that's just not sticking, just rub over it again. And we're done. Now you can very lightly just grab your microfiber cloth and just go over each of the vinyl parts. When you get to all the eggs and things, I would just pat. Don't rub. All right, and there is our Easter glass wrap. Came out really good. Now with this, don't use it for 24 hours. Let it sit and cure. That way the adhesive vinyl has a chance to set. And then only hand wash in warm soapy water. It can't go through the dishwasher. Okay? Well, I hope you enjoyed this craft. My craft room is a mess now, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Well, I hope you guys have a happy Easter. You guys have a craftastic day, and I will see you in the next video.